Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ideal Investor Show. And today's show I want to title, You Need to Know Why. And what I mean by that is you need to know why you're actually investing into some particular investment. So what would be the options? You need to know, for example, why would you want to buy a particular house as an investment? You might say, okay, I buy this particular house, exactly this one, in this particular location, because I've seen other houses in that exact area that are being used as Airbnb short-term rentals or vacation rentals, as they're also known. And they work really well and they make a huge amount of money. And on top of that, I have somebody in the area who is doing this already and who, for a fair fee per month, is willing to take on my house, that house that I'm buying, to run for me. So in that case, the short answer, why buying this particular house might be because the cash flow from the short-term rental will be great. And it will be great in that location for exactly that house. Now, that house that I just described might be quite expensive to get. And somebody else might say, yeah, I can buy that one. That costs $350,000. I am buying another one that is about the same size, but it only costs $150,000. But my reason is different. I want to build long-term cash flow, and I can get that one in that neighborhood for a really good ratio because it rents for $1,600 a month. I will run it as a long-term rental. I will have the tenants pay off the mortgage, and all I have to put in is $30,000, and that's about what I can afford, right? So those would be reasons why that house. When you're thinking the same thing, you should always be able, when you're investing in the stock market, to explain why that company. And one little thing in that context that I want to give you, especially if you have a 401k plan with your company and with your job, is that you're oftentimes going to be asked, for the companies that you're investing in, do you believe that they're going to continue to grow? On first glance, if you were to, for example, be asked, do you think Apple is going to continue to grow? Most people would probably say yes. Same thing for Amazon, same thing for Microsoft. The issue that you run into is, if you really think about it, like a company like Apple, if I'm not mistaken, last I looked, it has 2 trillion or 3 trillion in value. If you want to get Apple's value to double, it has to add another $2 or $3 trillion in value on top of it. And just to put that number into perspective, all the taxes that the US government collects in a year is around 4 and 5 trillion. That just gives you perspective. The same thing, imagine the valuation of Amazon or the valuation of Microsoft. These companies are massive, massive big companies. To double, and meaning like you double your money most likely, they would have to have an extreme amount of growth. Compare that to a much smaller company that is currently worth, let's say, 10 billion, and you want to buy it, and you look at what they do, and you decide, is it likely that they're going to get to 20 billion or 30 billion or 40 billion? That kind of an amount for that smaller company doesn't even register for an Apple or an Amazon or Microsoft. Now, is there more risk to invest in smaller companies? Yes, there could be. But the point about why invest in this stock over that stock is that you spend some time to find out, why are they in business? What are they doing? And how likely do I believe, as the investor, that what they want to achieve, they will achieve? And if you say, yes, I am convinced they are on the right track, they're doing the right things, I'm confident that they have a chance to accomplish that, that's why you want to invest. And as soon as you have that conviction, the question is, how likely is it that they achieve my goal? Your goal could be 10% per year, could be double every year. It could be double every 2 years or 5 years or whatever the goal might be. But when you know for sure that the company that you want to invest in has the ability to achieve its own goals, and on top of that, the ability to achieve your goals, then you know why you want to invest into it. A mutual fund with 5 or 10 or 100 or 500 companies in it, the amount of work you would have to do to figure this out for each and every one of them is just completely insane. That's why I recommend be aware, like Warren Buffett always says, in what you invest, and only invest in things that you understand and that meet those two criteria. So what you can see with that is if you look for substantial gains, regardless whether it's a house as an Airbnb, a house where the tenants pay off the mortgage, or a stock investment that you want to see double, triple, or maybe even 10x. None of these things happens in the short term. That means your investing should be in the long term. And the most successful investors we know do invest in the long term. So you need to know why you put any money, any investment in any class, house or coins or art or stocks. It doesn't matter. You need to be able to answer that question. And as you do, and if you can, you will see that it gives you way more confidence than most other investors about what will happen with your money. And that's what I really want to get across. When you understand why you invest in something, then you can also defend when other people say, oh, you're crazy, or I would never do this. And this is, you have made the research and you are convinced, and that's all it takes. So know why, and that will make you happy, especially if you invest for the long term. So that's it for today. Be well and stay safe, and I talk to you tomorrow.